Erika Jayne is dating Shrek. No, not that rude ogre from the swamp and star of the Shrek films. I'm talking about John McPhee, who has been nicknamed Shrek by his friends. Johnny Shrek McPhee is also a former U.S. Army Special Operations Officer, so you could say this guy who's used to hanging out in the Army mess will now be hanging out with the pretty mess, Erika Jayne. Congrats to both of them, and now here's Amy with more news.
That was pretty good. Pretty mess.
Yeah. I was thinking, how the hell do I conjoin these two people with some sort of thing? And I thought of mess with the Army and then pretty mess.
They should have at BravoCon the pretty mess hall.
Oh my God, that would be so cool. Everything just springs to mind the minute you say that. A big section of the Caesars Forum. This is a cafeteria sort of centered around food, and it says the pretty mess. Do you say hall?
The pretty mess hall.
Oh my God. I love that. They should do everything. Remember Bravo Bazaar and all that kind of shit? They should have all these little installations just have fun pun names on Bravo celebrities, just like that.
Yeah. Remember the hospital food in the tents at BravoCon?
Whoa.
Maybe you never ate there.
Wait.
The food left something to be desired at BravoCon.
Oh, can you remind me? Where were the tents and where was the food? I don't even remember eating during the day there. What was going on?
There was tents outside that had, convention food. I don't know. It would be just not good food.
But above Firefest sandwiches.
I would say above that, but just barely.
We should bring in a lot of food to eat during the panels and at the Bravo Bazaar, a bunch of just miscellaneous
tuna sandwiches,
just a bunch of
eggs.
Yeah, aromatic and really fun exotic Vegas food to be with, and just in case to avoid sort of that. I don't know, but maybe they'll step up the food this year, you think?
Yeah, hopefully. Wait, okay, so about this Shrek guy. I literally just saw this image, and his he kind of looks like buff Santa, and he's wearing a shirt that has a play on Stranger Things, but it says Slaughter Things.
I know. I kind of looked at him, and I zoomed in on that shirt, and I go, is this guy, is he wearing a crew Stranger Things shirt? Did he work on Stranger Things? Does he love it? But then when I kept zooming in, I go, Slaughter Things? I
don't like that.
I go, what the hell? And he's an Army guy. I was
he's
like,
what
a
psycho.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's that. He's off the rails and he wants to keep.
I live to kill.
Yeah, but I think it could be some brand or something. Let's see. And it also says, you got to see these photos, everybody. Little Turtle Cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs. Search Shrek, but then put quotes around that.
Yeah, great recommendation. Search Shrek.
Search Shrek. Put quotes around it, John McPhee, and then you gotta see this, and then type in Erika, and then you gotta see these photos. They went to, I think, Trader Joe's, and they're in the parking lot, and they are holding hands. It looks like love. I mean, Tom Girardi seems like he's, no offense, but clearly in the rear view. And
this is the porn version of Tom Girardi.
It's true. It's true. He's so oh my God, you guys, you have to look at him. Search John McPhee, nicknamed
Search Shrek.
Shrek. He's handsome. Well, I don't know about, he's handsome from what I can see, huge. And then Erika Jayne is holding his hands, and they're about to go into, I think, the Trader Joe's that's sort of on the Larchmont, around in the Larchmont area. And we don't know anything about them yet except who this person is. And the fact that it looks like they're dating if they're holding hands, in this parking lot. But I'm interested in what Slaughter Things means. I'm interested in his military history. I'm interested in if this kind of closes the window for Erika and Tom Girardi.
You were still holding out hope.
I'm just wondering if it's true. It's just goodbye, Tom. Is it truly just, is it over? I don't know. Does she still keep in touch with Tom? I'm still sick. I'm still sick to my stomach at that sentence that Tom got, but I haven't heard anything else about that.
Yeah, he, I think, got more time. Well, Diddy hasn't been sentenced. I was going to say he got more time than Diddy. Or maybe do we know how much time Diddy's serving at this point?
Oh, maybe we'll know when this airs, but I don't think we know how much time Diddy is serving. If it's not 87 years for every year that Tom Girardi has been alive, then I don't know what to think about the criminal justice system. I haven't followed the Diddy trial, so I shouldn't even remark upon that. I don't know what Diddy's going to get, criminal or time wise. What's it called? Prison wise. I don't know if he's even going to get prison.
Yeah, I saw. It's hard to know what's coming from where. A lot of fake news. There's so many like Twitter accounts that are literally just like hoax accounts.
Oh, of course.
Like they kept being like, Carl announces he's leaving Summer House, or like Janet and Jason announced and it's just like literally fake. Like, and I'm like, get a life. Like, you're wasting my time.
I say that too. I say, get a life. I go, what the hell is this? Could you imagine if your job was just spreading fake news? And I don't mean news that we don't verify that we spread on Turtle Time. That's not fake news. We were trying our best. I mean purposefully misleading people. Carl Radke is leaving Summer House. Carl Radke is dating whatever, some fake shit. Like it's purposefully just to mislead, to like confuse people who are internet digitally illiterate and don't know these sources. And it'll be called like Bravo News or
There's
something.
One that's called like hasty headlines. And it gets me every time where I'm like, hold on. And then I'm like, no, I want to block them. I'm like, why do I keep getting this?
Me too. I cross-reference any news thing I see. I make sure. I go, am I going to spread a scandalous lie on Turtle Time right before, I go on?
I have to send you something that my dad unfortunately emailed me that was like, Harrison Ford rips Joy Behar a new asshole.
Oh my God.
And I was like, there was no video, which he was convinced was because ABC didn't want it online.
Where was it? What was the news source?
YouTube.
YouTube with no YouTube.
Like, it was just like, I don't know what bullshit account it was. It had AI voiceover. I was like, Dad, his like Hulk president movie came out like 6 months ago. What would he be on The View for? I was like, there's not a single headline when you type in Harrison Ford. Like, it would be on Daily Mail, Us Weekly, People Mag. Like, it would be a huge deal if he yelled at Joy Behar. There's no evidence of this.
Right. We'd be talking about it. I mean, to be honest, it's not the furthest thing in my mind in the world that if Harrison Ford did go on The View, he would get irate and start screaming and throwing stuff at The View. But I agree with you completely. We would know more about this. We'd be seeing it all over. People would never stop talking about it. It'd be a Wikipedia entry on Harrison Ford's legacy. It'd be like, one time he went to The View and he screamed at Joy Behar for some reason. It's gonna get obviously harder.
It's gonna be so bad.
Soon your dad's gonna send a video and he's gonna be like, prove me wrong now. Look at this Harrison Ford that's dressed like the Red Hulk, makeup on The View. Why is he actually screaming at Joy Behar?
Him of all people, they've already like AI'd him through the generations. Like, they really will be able to do that.
They know exactly every Harrison Ford in every single form and every single light. They could put him in The View in about 2 seconds right now. One of our Villa Rosa VIPs could probably craft up Harrison Ford yelling at Joy Behar through AI. I think it's just going to be. I don't know if it'll probably degrade, obviously, everything and all news, but maybe it'll make us cling to valuable sources. We'll be like, ooh, is this on the New York Times or whatever news source you like? People will be like, oh, I gotta wait for that on the New York Times. Maybe?
MSDNC.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on over there. No, but it's true. But we just got to keep that's why Turtle Time is so vital to the discourse, because
we need a blue check mark. How do we do that?
It's true. It's because if you hear it on Turtle Time, thank your lucky stars you're getting the truth. Fully verified news. It's either verified by Queens of Bravo, Bravo Breaking News, Bravo Page 6, or a bunch of other shit. You know it's true.
Yeah, because so much of what I see is just screenshots because there's no way to keep up with shit otherwise. But I saw that like Candy, on top of congratulating the Chrisleys, she celebrated Diddy's sentencing or his like lack of getting no justice for his victims. And then I saw a screenshot that Madison LaCroix is hosting the Chrisleys somewhere.
Really? But is this is fake too?
I don't know.
Oh my God! Oh, I heard the Chrisleys went completely dark. I heard that the Chrisleys did a media blackout and they're not accepting any requests. That their camera feed is over and everything.
No, they told Madison no thanks.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on news-wise. You just made me think of something. Oh, I was thinking about that little Bravo stinker that was running around. Whenever big news was coming out, there was this little stinker that tried to insert himself in all the news, and he would be like
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, it was like him. He was like Tom Sandoval. Not only did he cheat on Ariana, but he got a girl pregnant, and he called me a huge slur, and everybody was like, "Oh my God." Tom Sandoval sucks even worse. And then he disappeared from the internet.
JK.
And he goes, I'll come back later. Next big Bravo scandal and I'll spread fake news. It's like, what the hell is going on over here?
My God. Yeah, there's just like too much going on in general that I can't keep afloat. But yeah, more to come on the Chrisleys as always. And then I saw that speaking of people getting pardoned, Gia wrote to Trump. They're really trying to get Juicy Joe back over here.
Juicy Joe and Gia did?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, I saw Juicy Joe. He said, please get me the hell out of the Bahamas. He goes, I cannot be here any longer. I want to go back to the United States so bad. I looked it up. He came from Italy like when he was 4 years old. So technically, I guess he was an Italian citizen. That's why they deported him. But he said,
now it's not really the time. They're not really doing the reverse right now.
It's kind of playing to, I don't want to get too political, but it's kind of two differing impulses for this administration. It's like, I love exonerating reality stars and I love what Juicy Joe brings to the table, but also
he's
this
a
kind of
criminal.
against my entire ethos in terms of bringing people back. We'll see where Juicy Joe lands, but I don't fault Joe Exotic and Juicy Joe for saying, please, for the love of God.
Hey, give it a whirl, I say.
Give it a whirl. And I didn't know. I mean, yeah, it makes sense that, Juicy Joe just, once he saw the Chrisleys, he was like, are you giving
He's
anybody?
Like the fucking Chrisleys? Like, I've given so much more entertainment than the Chrisleys.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, I can't even think of one thing that Todd and Julia Chrisley have done. Whereas
Flop City.
Whereas I know about 8 things that Joe Giudice has done that made
splits.
me... The splits. When he said, I have the smartest brain, it goes me and then God. No. He said, I have one of the smartest brains in humanity. It goes God and then my brain. I've thought about that every single minute since he said that. So pardon him. Bring him back. Well, he did commit crimes. Pardon him if you want.
Financial.
Yeah.
Who cares?
All right, and then okay, speaking of salacious news. Well, I don't know. Salacious, not that salacious, but Denise Richards and Aaron Fipers have said goodnight, goodbye, irreconcilable differences. I knew this couple was going to crash and burn someday. I saw Aaron, I saw Denise, and I knew that something was wrong. They were like the couple in that movie Bug. Did you ever see that movie Bug with Michael Shannon and Diane Lane?
Friedkin?
Yeah, did you ever see that movie?
Isn't it Ashley Judd?
I'm sorry. It's Ashley Judd. I'm sorry. It's Ashley Judd and Michael Shannon. It's about this guy, Michael Shannon. He goes absolutely kind of off the wall, and he brings Ashley Judd into his sort of conspiracy mindedness, and they both kind of, I don't know, I'll just say it, they go absolutely haywire.
They bug out.
They bug out completely, and it kind of is. It's not a great movie. But it's kind of reminds me of what Denise and Aaron were about one hair away from having a full-blown bug nightmare going on. Aaron famously thought that
he filed, right?
He filed. So
yeah. He
said, I can't do anything more of this. But then I heard that Denise, Page 6 just reported and said, Denise Richards vowed that she and Aaron Fipers would never divorce. She had just said that, and then the divorce came very quickly after. So it's kind of like famous last words.
Yeah. I'm kind of like more concerned than I would normally be that he filed, because if she filed, I'd be like, yeah, he's nuts. Like, get out of there. But that he filed, I'm like, what's going on over there?
Maybe it started to rub off on her, and she started saying some stuff that even made him blush. He was like, no, he's like, the secret rock's in the ground. Don't do that. And And he's like, no, that person's not, I'm not a TI targeted individual from that organization. It's the CIA who follows me. And Denise is like, no, it's
yeah, they're probably like fire truthers and like chemtrail truthers. They probably have like so much on their plate.
He was saying at dinner, he was talking to everybody. I forget. He was like Mauricio and he was talking like Mauricio and like PK, and he was talking to like everyone. And he goes, "Hey, just so you know, they've got the cure to the cancer. By the way, they just blast a bunch of rays on you, but they don't." Want it to give it to you because obviously the healthcare industry, and Mauricio was just like, oh my gosh, very interesting. Thank you so much, Aaron. So congrats or goodbye to Denise and Aaron. I think it's probably for the best. I didn't watch their Wild Things show. I only watched the first 2 episodes, so I don't know if we got the stepping stones towards this. Probably a bunch of Wild Things fans are going, oh my god, this is just what we've wanted. But I just kind of saw the writing in the sky on that one.
In the chemtrails. I didn't watch it for 1 second. I couldn't do it. We'll see if we ever see her again. I can't imagine they're interested in bringing that show back, but hey, what do I know?
What do I know? I have no clue. I think that one bit the dust, and definitely Sold on SLC bit the dust. You remember that?
Oh yeah. I already forgot about that.
Yeah,
I more remember that Jeep commercial with Doute where she was like, I'm looking for a place in SLC in the Jeep.
Yeah, that was awesome. And it was the star of Sold on SLC. And they go, oh yeah. She said, wait, stop showing me houses. I got to get a load of what's going on in this Jeep, right? Because it was a Jeep commercial.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, sorry. So that is gone. Denise Richards. Anything else that you wanted to say news-wise?
No, just while we're talking about Doute, I get a lot of TikToks about Kyle's family, like her daughters, because there's so many of them. And like one of them is like getting her lip filler removed and redone. One of them is engaged. I think it might be the same one. But they were just on like I don't know if they were in Greece or where they were. They were all on a bachelorette, and like Nikki Hilton was there, and all the sisters and the cousins. And I'm like, I hate to, I ride or die for Kyle, but I'm like, her life is always awesome in the background. Like, you always are like, I want to see what this family's up to.
Oh, so you're saying Kyle Richards spinoff?
Or just like people like hate her so much, and I'm like, but she's the best one.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I haven't thought about Kyle Richards' hate in a long time, but oh, no. I think she's very, very compelling, obviously, and I do like seeing all that random blips of stuff that I see going on in that family.
Like Doute's life, I don't care.
Oh,
I don't care what she's doing this week.
No, I like seeing little glimpses of it when it's on Beverly Hills, but no, I'm not saying what the hell's going on in Doute's house 24/7. It's a bad thing, though, that Mauricio let that test balloon go up on Netflix that was kind of centered around his family outside of Kyle, and then the Netflix said, we don't want any more of this. Let's cancel this immediately.
They're like, poop cruise only. Fuck this.
They're like, can we make a documentary about poop cruise, please?
A huge hit. I also wanted to do just like a really quick sad update in the Housewives world. I was watching a clip again, just everything I see is clips. I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm a borderline cable cutter that the only way I see stuff is in clips? Like even 60 Minutes I watch as a clip, like freaking Sunday morning show I watch as clips, and I'm like, I want to watch it for real, but they get me with the clips.
Where are these clips? TikTok?
Yeah.
I gotta see more clips like this. I never see anything. You send me these
quick
amazing
bites.
clips. You send me these amazing quick bites on that platform, TikTok, and every clip I see, I'll be like, "Wow, this is so fun."
The
but I don't get
perfect
my
length.
but I don't get my news like that. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But so you were saying quick bite. You got
I got
this
a quick bite of Nene on Cynthia Bailey and Crystal Minkoff's podcast, which I forgot existed. Also can't keep up with that. That she said that she didn't do Traders because her son Brent was in the hospital and still is. He has like heart failure. He had a stroke that affected his heart. Then he had to get a heart transplant. Then his body was rejecting the heart. And so he's in like, I think he's doing better, she said. He's turned a corner, but like super dire health situation for her youngest son, her son with Greg. And I was like, I had no fucking clue that Nene was going through this crazy shit. Like, she's kept it to herself. I think it's been going on all year. And so prayers up for the Leaks family. I hope that everything goes well with him and he gets better and that Nene can come back.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I saw that same thing too. Not a quick bite, but I saw it as an article. But I feel the same way. A moment of pure thought from the Turtle Time community, to Nene and her family. That is so horrible and sad to hear. And I really hope that her son gets better soon. It's so one of the worst things you could ever have happen to you. So
yeah,
we'll be
it sounds like she was like a second away from doing Traitors, which I feel like means she'll definitely do it later, which is good for us all. I watched like 3 or 4 episodes of Atlanta over the holiday weekend, and I have to say, like, Phaedra really came in clutch.
Oh, good. Okay.
I was laughing.
Really? Oh my God. So what? Okay. So, all right. Well, let's talk about Atlanta for a second. So did it, okay. So where we left off for me personally, I said, oh my God, this is rough. What the hell is going on? Did Phaedra really brought it completely up to a new level? Her scenes isolated, or she just kind of started corralling everybody in a much better place and started doing better work than all of them?
I mean, she's just so funny. Like, the stuff that she says is so unexpected that it's just like no one else does it like her, where everything she says I've never heard before. Mm-hmm. The plots, though, are still, it's kind of just like sad, like talk about like sad stuff, like Shamia's daughter's health stuff, like Kelly's divorce. Like, it's just like, it's kind of like not fun. So, and then it turns out that like the entire cast is like falling apart, and by the reunion, like half of them aren't there. So it feels like they just need to like scrap and start over. But Phaedra made it tolerable, and there were just like multiple quotable moments where they were making fun. There was drama about Kelly and Britt wearing the same outfit, and Phaedra called them fake frickin' frack, and then no. Phaedra called them fake fricker frack, and Portia said that they were like Ren and Stimpy.
Whoa! Holy shit! So not even to the level of frickin' frack, more like Ren and Stimpy.
Frickin' Ren and Stimpy. And then for some reason, Portia brought up censor Cynthia's private parts. I won't say the word. A part down south. It's too. I don't know if YouTube will get mad, but on Seinfeld they say it rhymes with Dolores.
She did what?
She was like, just like your Dolores. And Cynthia said, I have a hood, like my Dolores is hooded. And Phaedra goes, your vagina's in the KKK. And I was just like, I've never heard. She comes out of left field every time. She also said that she likes men who are bow-legged, that she dated a man for a long time that was bow-legged. And she said that now that everyone's drinking vitamin D milk, nobody gets rickets anymore, so no one is sexy with bow legs anymore.
Oh, my God. Wow.
So that's just a little sample. She talks about that she's a certified Reiki healer at this point. She added that on to being a funeral director. So you can get Reiki healed by Phaedra, so I would love for her to do that to Jax somewhere.
Oh my God. Oh, Jax would love that.
And yeah, she's still doing the funeral business, which is unbelievable. And her son, her youngest son, Mr. President, remember him? Mm-hmm. He's like a fashion designer. He's like designing little cargo pants, and he makes them himself.
Holy shit. All right. Well, you just sold me on the last half of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I will definitely be watching. Maybe we'll recap it very soon. I can't believe it. The finale already happened and now the reunions are happening, currently airing?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm probably behind. Maybe the first reunion was past weekend. But I saw through the finale. But, I had a laugh. And also, we were talking about that we have casually been watching Next Gen NYC. And I have really enjoyed it.
Me too. Let's talk about it now. Before we even talk about the Valley, let's talk about Next Gen NYC. So you and I are both completely caught up. I mean, except there's an episode that probably aired, I don't know, right before this. We have not watched that one. We're recording before this week's episode. But I got to say, I think it's one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. And
I will say that I think Gia is an odd man out.
Yes.
I could crop her out.
I think so too. I think that I'm fine. I'm fine with Gia. I'm fine with her as a friend of. One thing I noticed is that she's kind of pulling Next Gen NYC in a more traditional Housewives sort of structure. She's like, we all got to go on a cast trip and look at this event I threw in New Jersey with a bunch of a psychic and tarot card reader and. Let's make pizzas, and I don't need that at all from Next Gen NYC. They're doing just fine. I like everything that they're doing. They're killing it. They're running around New York City like nobody I've ever seen in my life. Charlie's like skateboarding behind buses and then showing up to some like outdoor dinner, and then he's riding to the box. There's so much energy and action, and like they go like to 10 different places in one episode. There's almost too much shit to jam in. They're showing flashbacks of shit that like I'm like that would have been an entire episode on a Housewives franchise. Yeah. So I love the pace and action of it, and I love the cast. I mean, I think I love everyone. I mean, Gia is I don't mind. Yeah, if she got the boot, I wouldn't really care at all. But I think I love every single cast member. I think they did such a good job of having the Housewives Nepo babies, for lack of a better term, who have sort of been entrenched in the Bravo ethos. But then they also found these amazing people that have never been on a Bravo show before, and they're working very well together. And Charlie and Georgia are like just as entertaining as Ariana and Riley, and they're killing it, and they're going toe to toe with each other. It's just like it's one of the best casts, I think, not in Bravo history, but I mean, for no stinkers, no dead weight, no one that I'm just like repulsed by, that I'm like, get them off this show, they suck. There's no one like that on this show.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them, and so you'll kind of forget about somebody, and then they'll deploy them later, and you're like, oh yeah, it's like stacked. I saw a tweet right before this that they were like, I don't think Charlie will come back, and good riddance. And I was like, why?
Who said that?
Some tweeter. I was like, the show, he's the backbone of the show. He's insane.
One of the cast members said, Charlie is responsible for all of the drama this summer. Everything is connected to Charlie. It's like, you just gave him 2 more seasons on this show by having that quote attached to him. I mean, he's the engine of this show so far.
Yeah.
He is so unruly and has that I guess like morally ambiguous nature, sort of like more of like the Jesse, like we've talked about, where he does these like awful things. He's got repugnant behavior, but he's also very charming, very confident, completely compelling. I'm like, oh my God, like Charlie, when he comes in a scene, when the episode that I just watched, he skateboarded to meet Georgia. Him and Georgia have this fucking amazing fight about his speaker.
What does he call her? Like a
He goes,
something
you pathetic.
Bitch.
He goes, you pathetic, delusional bitch. If you were a man, I would slap you. And she goes, did you just say you'd slap me? He goes, if you were a man, I would slap you. He goes, I wanted my fucking speaker back. I'm like, I love that in addition to everything,
speaker.
In addition to everything else that's going on, the fact that they were able to wedge in this speaker drama as well was like perfect. I also think the aesthetics of the show are amazing. I love the typography on all of the titles. I love how the subtitles look. I think they're integrating graphics really well. They kept it very fun. Like whoever is the production team for this show made it very like current and cool. And it's the only time I think I've ever liked young people so far on a reality show. I like all of them. I'm like getting a real glimpse into Gen Z, and I'm not appalled. I don't know if they're Gen Z. They might be above Gen Z. I don't know what their age range are.
But they are, because I think so. I think all millennials are officially 30. I think.
Oh, okay. So Charlie is just on the cusp. He's a older Gen Z.
No, that's the other thing. The age range is like 10 years. So like it doesn't entirely always make sense, where like some of them are like literally 21 and he's like almost 30, and you're like, would they actually be hanging out? I mean, maybe.
I think good enough, because you have like Georgia in there or whatever, and you have another cast member that's 27. I feel like it's a great age range where 24-year-olds can hang out with. I think Riley is 21, but she knew Charlie for a year. I love that Ariana comes in and it's so clearly she's cast to just join them, but she has the connection to Riley. And people are starting to enjoy Ariana just on her own, and they're starting to defend her. And Charlie's even like, I want to have sex with Ariana if I can. It's like, it's a really good ensemble together. Like, even for the artificiality of getting this cast together, they've done a really good job.
Yeah, and then Seth Marks is like, hey fellow teens, can I just be on the show? Like, he like thinks he's in the cast.
He goes to one of the cast members, one of the friend ofs. He goes, "Are you sexually fluid?" And the kid goes, "I was just coming over to congratulate you on your caviar party." It's like, what the hell is Seth Marks doing over there?
He's like, pull my finger.
Yeah, but I actually, so actually seeing them in this environment makes me like, I don't know, like respect Brooks and Meredith a lot more. I would have, if you would have told me you're going to get a lot more Meredith on Salt Lake City, I don't know if I would have said, I need more Meredith. She was kind of like on the cusp for me, but I really like her in the New York environment and her relationship to Brooks. And I never really, Brooks in small doses on Salt Lake City, I also never got a good feel for him, but I love him in this environment. I think he's great. Like, I think he's such a vital cast member and sort of like the glue between all these different factions on the show.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. I don't remember how many examples we already compared it to, but I was like, it reminds me of NYC Prep. It reminds me of, was it called Rich Girls? It was about like Tommy Hilfiger's daughter. It was on in like 2002 on MTV, I think. And it was like that sort of like, you get a glimpse into like rich kids with the credit card.
Yeah.
Like, I love all the stuff about like people getting allowance. Like, Charlie should be the richest one, but he keeps putting the bill on everyone else. Riley says that they went out, I think it was at the box, and it was $14,000, and Candy almost like kills her. She's like, that better not be on the card I fucking pay for. Which I was like, what world are you living in where you even end up at, I would jump off a cliff if I was at a situation where that was the bill.
You would never see me again. You'll
never see me again.
If I saw $14,000 and it was under my name that I was responsible for, you would never find me again in my life. I cannot believe that was a casual, offhanded comment that Riley made. She's like, no, we're going to split it. And then I'm going to split it. I'm only going to end up owing around $7,000 for this one night at the box. I love like, that.
Unless there were 1,000 people there, I can't split it.
No, I don't know how I would be navigating, like I would be, I don't know what, I'd be doing Charlie style stuff. I'd be like, you said you were going to get this box night? I'll get you back when we go to Joe's Pizza tomorrow or whatever. Charlie's relationship with his dad is amazing. They got lightning in a bottle with that thing. He's got this really interesting.
Anwar.
Yes, really, really potent, interesting dynamic with his dad where he is so triggered by everything his dad says. You could tell that his dad is like a dickhead to him and treats him like shit. He also Charlie acts like he's like way younger than he is because he's never had any responsibility before. He doesn't know what the next step is. He feels sort of like cloistered by his dad, you know, and that he's under his dad's shadow and everything. That stuff is great as well. And then Georgia, gotta give a huge credit to Georgia for never being on a reality show. I don't know where the hell she came from, but she's like hosting parties. I like the dynamic with her business partner. I like her relationship with that boyfriend that said I love you. And
who the hell is that guy? He's like not cool at all. Like everyone else has like an edge, and he's like wearing the dorkiest suit you've ever seen.
I'm taking it as like this is like the New York City environment, and like you get these crypto people and finance people, and then there's people that are planning events like weird of nightlife events and stuff. Like I just am kind of like, I'm just like absorbing New York City through the eyes of people in their 20s, which it's really enjoyable for that. I mean, it makes me so pissed at Roni because Roni was so bad at doing this. It was like if they went to that one Pavitz, like that restaurant that he wants, you'd be there for like 1 minute, and that would be like the only New York City. It was so claustrophobic and boring, their version of New York City. And then we're getting this.
I know. Charlie's like rolling joints on his table. I'm like, call me Pollyanna, but I'm like, have we ever seen marijuana in the raw on Bravo?
It's so cool. Oh my God, it is so cool. When Dame Dash offers Seth Marks, he goes, "Do you smoke?" And Seth Marks goes, "Cigarette or cigarette, or are you talking about weed?" And he goes, "Weed." And he goes, "I'm sorry, I work for a corporate, in the corporate structure. I can't partake in weed right now." And he goes, "Okay, I'll just smoke weed for you." I was like, "Oh my God, this is fucking awesome." There's the only, I'm like, even trying to be like critical at all. I think that Ariana and maybe Gia have a little bit too much Bravo energy, where they're trying to shape things and make more conflict than there needs to be. By like, it happened when they were really antagonizing Brooks to get to the bottom of is it Ava? Ava is like, said that very like real sort of only slightly negative comment about Ariana having a made-up fashion line that she's just starting now. And then there's a little bit of that, you could tell that kind of desperation to be like, let's make something bigger. And they just, if they cooled it just like 2 degrees on that, it would be absolutely perfect. Because I like Ariana. My favorite cast member is Hudson.
Her boyfriend,
the Zaxby's heir, the heir to the Zaxby's fortune. When I was just getting little glimpses of Hudson, I go, I don't know what's going on. But when I've actually watched him now, I'm like, I love Hudson and I love Ariana. I like seeing this relationship that's in the 22 and you're 24, whatever, like the first real relationship you have, and they're moving in together. Like, they're moving in together in New York City for $10,000 a month, and it's happening right now. That is going to be so interesting to like watch that relationship progress. I hope it gets like 5 seasons with this cast. I want to just like keep going.
They're trying to start a fashion line, but they have no fucking clue. I'm like, can you just like go to fashion school, please? Like, you don't even know like what a pattern is. Like, you don't know how to do a single thing.
It's totally, but I think they gave him a bad edit on that, because the guy asks, what are your 3 favorite fashion lines? And they were about to say him, and then it cut him off. And then they said that Ariana's elevator pitch was like shitty, but I bet she knows more than they were leading on. But it's obviously very fanciful to say to everyone, I'm starting a fashion line. So you had a meeting with one person, you've never done anything before. But that's kind of what do they say about New York? Fake it till you make it. Yeah. We're getting a real story of people just saying, hey, I'm a fashion designer, and maybe she'll be rubbing it in Ava's face next season, being like, look at what I started. Ariana
I would
Empire.
love, if we're going to get the parents involved, swap out Meredith for Rachel Roy doing a meeting with Ariana, telling her how to start a brand.
Oh my God.
That would be good.
Oh my God. That would be amazing.
I re-looked up the Charlie crypto torture chamber article because I was like, now I want to see. And it's so obvious that he has people on the inside, because the way that they describe him, it goes, I guess this is pulled from the Bravo site. So they're the ones that did it. Zakor is a crypto trader and private investor who's been ruling NYC's club scene since he was 14, and he knows everyone and their secrets.
Whoa, that's what it said?
Yeah.
Whoa, I can't wait till they get into the crypto kidnapping scandal in next season as well. Yeah, there's so much stuff to go, like... there was obviously in the early episodes, there was Charlie saying that he really wanted to have sex with Brooks's sister, Chloe, and they've kind of gotten past that, now. But Brooks had a hard time articulating why that offended him so much and why Charlie was being so horrible. But it seems like Charlie just kind of bounces around and moves around and just tries to offend as many people as he can, and he doesn't really care, and he doesn't really feel apologetic. He's got that sort of personality that he's never had to like apologize to anyone before and mean it, because he's gotten away with everything in his life, because he's sort of this kind of a spoiled, entitled child.
Yeah, it's really funny that he thinks he's so badass, but he literally has to ask his dad for every cent.
He goes, Dad, I need $5,000 more than my $10,000 a month allowance because I gotta buy patio furniture. It's like, whoa, like he makes no money on his own. Like, not that, he's just like, he's fully reliant on his dad's allowance. I haven't seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we get a firsthand look into that kind of relationship.
Yeah, George is like, he says he's a fucking crypto trader. He's probably made like $300 doing that, which is totally true.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, probably. Well, yeah. I'm gonna maybe we'll just keep watching and checking back in, or if OC is rotting orange or whatever, pick up on Next Gen NYC. But currently, I don't know how we could integrate it properly, but maybe we'll just keep checking in.
I think I heard that it's like a pretty short first season. Like, I don't think there's going to be too many, but I might have made that up. So we'll see.
All right. Yeah. It gets an A from me. I just think every minute of it has been enjoyable for the most part. And I think the cast is great. And I have no notes on it. Nothing I would even make better. I think it's almost perfect.
Yeah, because it's like, besides them going to Teresa's house or a couple, like the caviar thing, a few bullshit moments that are like Bravo-esque, you feel like if you went on a Thursday night to any place and opened the door, they'd be in there doing what they said they do. Like,
Yes.
It just feels authentic,
Totally. Yeah, it really does. It feels authentic, and so it's amazing. So congrats to Bravo. I mean, I'll be honest, when I saw this shit rolling down the hill, Wild Things sold on SLC, you and I looked at each other and we go, yeah, sure, we'll talk about that on Turtle Time. I'm sure that'll be really good. But secretly, I was going, what the hell is this Next Gen NYC shit? Even when they were filming it, I was like, I just had a natural impulse to be like, this is probably going to be shit. And then I was telling you, I would peek over and Megan would be watching it, and I'd see Charlie at dinner with Seth Marks having a talk about him possibly dating Chloe, and I was like, this is good. And then I'd see Hudson, I'd be like, oh my god, this kid is amazing. And so finally, I'm so glad I just like dove in and watched it, because it's awesome. So if a Little Turtle Cutie or Villa Rosa VIP hasn't dipped into Next Gen NYC yet, I mean, I give it the highest recommendation. It's as good or better than The Valley currently, I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah. Although I had a decent time watching this week, so I'll say.
Me too.
Should we talk about it?
Yes. Let's end the news segment. We want to say, so that was the news segment. We want to say, sadly, last bit of news before we go to the Valley. Lisa Vanderpump had a little bit of a horrible event happen. One of our friends texted us this, and they said, please report on this. Lisa Vanderpump's hotel. It's at the Cromwell, and it's called the Vanderpump Hotel. There was a fire over the weekend. It was a huge fire. A bunch of smoke started billowing out of her hotel, and it's not funny. It's not funny. But I think that they are very quickly, if I know the staff at the Cromwell and some of the construction people over there, they're getting that thing back in shape. And that deadline of December 2025 to open is, I don't think that, if I know Lisa and Ken and the people at Cromwell, that didn't even set them back for even a week. So we'll be saying it.
Jeremy Maddox was there again to extinguish the flames.
I bet she was wishing that Jeremy was there to nip that thing in the bud. But it's not.
Like, remember in Zoolander where they look back at the crime photos and Mila Jovovich is in every single one.
Of course,
like Jeremy Maddox is at every single Vanderpump fire.
Yeah, totally. It's like no one knows who he is, but you and I know because we recognize his haircut or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even, I don't mean to be flippant about this, but I don't want to spread fake news. I think it was just in the parking lot of her hotel, and someone did extinguish it very, very quickly. It says that it was only evacuated and no injuries even close to it. So I don't think it even affected the work there. I just want to make sure that I'm not spreading misinformation as I am wont to do. Future Hotel broke out in flames, but it started in the parking lot, and then it started spreading into the Vanderpump Hotel, but it was extinguished. And if I know Lisa's work ethic, that's not going to stop her at all. So great.
I was going to say, congrats for surviving, Lisa.
I would say let's say this is a rare condolences. It's newsworthy, condolences, and congratulations
It's
on getting
giving
it.
I'm sorry or congratulations. I'm not reading all that.
Yes, but I mainly congratulations, and it really is going to reflect on Lisa's spirit that she was able to tamp that thing down as quickly as she was. Lisa won't let anything stop her from getting her dreams. She's like, oh my god, how many? We already talked about that Wolf by Scottsdale, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, 45 minutes in, let's talk about this week's episode of The Valley. You already said how you felt. I felt the same way. I go, wow, we're back in action on The Valley. I said I loved everything about this. It's my favorite episodes where it's all sort of encapsulated, like kind of in one event or maybe two events, but they really got into it. I mean, this Janet versus Kristen shit really boils over. And I've never seen Kristen she hasn't been this pissed that I've seen her on television in a long time. She was like threatening to kill Janet, murder her, throw her over the boat. She let out everything she could at Janet. And this is going to make Janet haters, they're probably like, oh my God, vengeance is nigh. They're probably like, oh my God, finally someone is saying all of the things that we've wanted to say to Janet for so long. But I loved this episode. The little pop-ins we get with Jax were interesting, and just overall the boat actually was, I think it earned the title, which is Cruise Ship from Hell.
Yes, the cruise from hell.
Oh,
I will
Cruise
say,
from Hell.
Not as bad as the poop cruise, but anyways. So
Not even close, right?
Not even close. I think Janet is bad at fighting on TV, and it's not fun to watch. And also, a rare moment where I found Brittany to be annoying as hell.
Yeah, I didn't like how Brittany did a couple things also in this episode. I didn't... let's talk about, because one of my first grievances against Brittany is right at the start of the episode. So it starts out where after they had just popped champagne for Kristen and Luke's engagement, we're continuing at that party where they're all wearing Kristen and Luke shirts, which are available for sale, by the way, on James May. I think you and I are going to hopefully get a big treat coming up pretty soon when those get delivered to us. But then Zach goes, you can kiss for 5 minutes, but then we have a big engagement dinner downstairs for you all. And I have to say, they come all down, but the energy is pure shit.
Yeah.
If I got engaged and then went down for dinner with my friends and they were acting like this, bummer-rama, sad, bored, lame, calling out who wasn't there, and that Danny and Nia are taking too long of a shower. The energy was horrible.
Yeah, I know. They were all like, where are they? Why are they always get to be gone? Well, Brittany's like, if they're not going to be held accountable, then I'm going to leave. And I'm like, I thought Kristen was like your best friend in the world. Like, you don't want to do this like luau for her engagement?
Is this not Kristen Doute's engagement dinner that was planned for her? Like, why? Who cares what the Danny and Nia are taking a shower? Why would you ever threaten to leave? Like, if I was here and I was Kristen Doute's friend, I would be eating every hors d'oeuvre they served me, drinking 6 margaritas at that bar that he had, and just dancing my ass off watching those fire performers. Like, it had all the hallmarks of a great party that Zach set up. What were they thinking? I
got the vibe that everyone was like sun-soaked and potentially drunk.
Brittany was definitely drunk.
Yeah.
Brittany, so what I was pissed about Brittany was, I was like, just what you said. You're threatening to leave because Danny and Nia aren't here. And then I was mad at Jasmine. Jasmine goes, how long did it take for them to shower? It's like, they went on a boat. They can't have 30 minutes to come down? Why are you all so desperate for other cast members to be there? You can't entertain or be fun or watch an event on your own? And then Jasmine started to get a little too deep with it. She was like, they're always like this. They suck. I hate how they always act. And it's like, where does this Danny and Nia hatred...
They turned me on them, like, while they were saying that, and then they came dancing out, and they were the last to arrive. I was like, yeah, they're fucking annoying.
But...
they need to quit it. They need to shut up.
But is it Is it just that Danny and Nia, like, I think that Brittany was resentful, she says, because she didn't get to be a firsthand witness to Kristen, so she's drunk, so she's in her feelings a little bit. But Jasmine, it just felt like she, like, reopened a wound about Nia and Danny, was just like, they fucking suck. Look at them dancing.
Yeah.
And then Zach at one point goes, hey, Danny and Nia, just so you know, they're fucking hating you out here. Everyone hates you. Brittany hates you. Jasmine said something about hating you. And Danny and Nia are like, huh?
I know. They're like, we can't win.
No, but like in this instance, I completely understand why they would be confused. Why?
Yeah, I feel like everyone is being fucking weird. Like, Aaron joins and he goes, congrats, Luke, you beat me to it. And it's like, you guys have been dating for like 2 months. Like, fuck off.
Totally. Fuck off, Aaron.
Everyone, I was just like, yeah, you're all fucking annoying.
Yeah, you know, maybe sun-soaked and tired and like, and they think that this is fake, and like the fact that Janet, for some reason they had to have Janet there, made him in a bad mood. But I just thought to myself, if I was Kristen and these were my friends and they acted like this, I would like write them all off forever. I was like, you gave us one of the fucking worst energies I've ever seen in my life for one of the best moments of my life. And there was nothing wrong with the party. It was set up well. It's like, just that Danny and Nia were showering. Kristen goes, you know, I don't like all this attention. Please stop looking at me. But then eventually, I don't know if anything else happens besides Kristen and Luke saying, we need to hit the hay and make love to have a baby pretty soon, so we'll leave. And then everyone just says like, peace, see ya, goodbye. And then Danny's like, you can talk shit about us now if you need to, if you have to. And then Nia is always like, Daniel, stop, don't say anything.
Don't let them take your peace. Yeah. And they also, Kristen plants a seed that she hopes that Janet won't spread the news. So we know that they are at this point in the evening still worried about like family finding out or anyone spilling the beans, which comes up in the morning.
I loved this spilling the beans random drama that happened.
Yeah.
I thought that was perfect because that kind of shit does happen with an engagement. Who's going to spill the beans?
Yeah.
First, I did like when Kristen and Luke said he was wearing that sash, and they go, let's go brush our teeth right now before we go to bed. And then Luke goes, yeah, I can't wait to brush my teeth. And then I think they ran in to go have sex in the bathroom because they didn't want the camera people to witness them having sex. So I thought that was kind of fun.
Yes, and then for some reason, Brittany hosts everyone in her room that she shares with Janet and Jason. So I don't know what the deal is with these suites, but like people are sharing spaces in a way where I'm like, I don't want a suite then. Just give me a regular room.
Yeah, it's like 3 suites for 8 people, and you get 2 doors in each suite that goes to a different little section. And yeah, it didn't make any sense. And then Jason and Janet are like all in their beautiful looking pajamas, and they're just like, is the party for Kristen happening right out there? They think that like Kristen and Luke are like out there
in the bedroom.
Yeah, and you just sense, you know, I've been this, like, they're just so uncomfortable. They're like, Janet goes like, I don't know what to do here. I'm strategically out of all moves. Do I leave because this is so awkward? Do me and Jason leave? Or do I just start to go to these events and feel incredibly awkward? She's like, I have no clue how to handle this, like, at all.
Yeah. It's kind of like there's no winning because it's like she wants to give Kristen space to celebrate her like good moment, but also it's like you look like an asshole for like not being around, so you're kind of just doomed.
Yeah, I mean, you're doomed. I said this last week. Janet, go up to Kristen. Say, congratulations for the arc of our friendship. 10 years being friends. I honor this moment. I know we're in a bad place now. But I seriously, with all of my heart, love you and Luke or whatever. Maybe she doesn't have the energy to say that, but just something to make it feasible for you to be in the same room with her for the rest of time. But she is like making it so obvious that there's this horrible rift. And for the rest of the episode, she can't even be within 6 feet. Of Kristen, which makes everybody else uncomfortable. It's kind of ruining the vibe. So, it doesn't make it more entertaining that Janet and Jason are doing it. I mean, I guess it kind of does because you're like, oh, I'm witnessing a real life awkward event. But I just wouldn't have handled it like Janet is doing.
Earlier at the like luau thing, Michelle and Brittany are like, it is kind of mean that Janet is here in Hawaii and she's not invited. And Zach's like, she was invited. Like,
yeah.
I didn't tell her she couldn't come.
Yeah, Brittany goes, yeah, they spent all that money and stuff. I kind of feel weird about it, too. And it's like, Brittany, stop it. Brittany, please.
I think Janet said on the after... No, I forget if Kristen said this or Janet, but I guess both of them upgraded on the way back. Mm-hmm. But, like, they ended up getting sat, like, right next... Or, like, in front of and behind each other for the whole way back because like Kristen and Luke upgraded for their way back and Janet and Jason had upgraded, so they had to sit really close on the plane on the way back.
I heard that Luke was playing drums on the back of Janet's seat the entire flight, doing a bunch of drum motions, and he turned up his in-flight entertainment really loud behind her, and he was just doing every kind of prank you can play when you're behind someone in first class. So that was rude of Luke. What are the odds that would happen?
Yes.
All right, morning time.
Yeah, morning. Kristen and Luke wake up in bed, and Kristen gets a text from you-know-who.
Yeah, the most lackluster text in the world. Congrats, period. It's like,
congrats.
What it's like, huh? I mean, early. And...
On Miami, that would be a season-long storyline.
Oh, for sure. Could you imagine if... Julia did. She got that text exactly. Congrats. Really nothing for Kristen, at all. And then Kristen goes, how the hell did Jax Taylor, loudmouth of the century, find out about this? He's going to talk all over town about this. And then also people start to say the boys chat is going nuts right now. Jax apparently is writing in the boys chat. He's going, I have something huge I need to tell you all. I can't hold it in much longer. I'm going to say it really, really soon. And then it's got the boys completely activated in there. They're going, ha ha, exclamation points. Say it now. Gifts of a bunch of who would it be, like what's his name, what's the guy, Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street, doing that dance that he does.
We're going streaking.
That Will Ferrell in Old School was we're gonna streaking, meet me in the gymnasium. Could you imagine the boys chat when this hit? But I don't think he said it in the boys chat. He just said, I've got a bomb to drop on you boys pretty soon.
Yeah.
Right?
And does she call Brittany in that moment and go, yes. How the fuck does he know? And she's like, oh my God.
She goes,
like, I told him, but I told him not to say anything. Like, I am shocked. I cannot believe it. And you're like, that's the reason why you weren't included in the first place. So good to know that you are incapable of not telling Jax.
Yeah. Zach said that. He said that he didn't. He knew it would get to Jax from Brittany's lips to Jax's ears, and it got to Jax within 1 second, within 4 hours, and he's already spreading it like wildfire throughout town. So it's exactly why Zach didn't want Brittany to find out about this. And then Brittany pretending that she doesn't know that Jax blabs all over town is ridiculous. And Kristen calls her out a little bit. She goes, you know what he would do. You've been married to him for 5 years. You know that he would spread this all over town. So she's a little shocked at Brittany that she would have done that. And it was weird to me. Yeah. That Brittany still has the relationship enough with Jax at this point when he's like dead to her, metaphorically, that she'd be like telling him the news of the week.
It's frustrating. Like, I think later in the episode when Zach brings this up to her, he's like, girl, like, come on, like, we can't keep going back and forth with you two. And she's like, no, I swear, like, he's been my person for so long, it's confusing. And I'm like, come on.
I know. Yeah. It makes me think, it's like, oh my God, are they knowing that there is this pull that Jax is, that the power of Jax will just get to Brittany and that she needs to sign those divorce papers now to, like, end this because Jax might pull her back? This is sort of probably giving them warning signs that Brittany could be compelled to go back into Jax's life. We get a little peek into Jason and Janet's room again. Jason is on his laptop, and Janet goes, how long are you going to be working? He goes, I'm going to be working all day and all night. And then Janet laughs because it's kind of funny. He wants to avoid all of the drama, so he says he's going to be working on his laptop for that entire time. Yeah, which I thought
sucks that he had to bring it.
I know. He goes, don't worry, I'm just going to answer some high-level emails, and I'm going to let some other stuff go by the wayside for a bit. So good work strategy, I thought.
Okay, then Brittany and Kristen have a beachside powwow. Brittany did her thing that her phrasing that annoys me specifically, and I have brought it up before. She says, "Kristen, let me see your ring whenever I'm not drunk," meaning I was drunk when I saw your ring before. Let me see it when I am not. But she uses whenever. This is me nitpicking, but she does it in every episode she's ever been on.
Whoa.
She says whenever, meaning it's like hard to even explain. She just uses it wrong.
Yeah. Did she mean, okay, let me think about this. Let me see your ring now that I'm not drunk.
Yes.
But she said, let me see your ring whenever I'm not drunk. Whenever I'm not drunk. Yeah, because you would, if you read that, you'd be whenever I'm not drunk. It'd be like I'm drunk all the time, and so I can't wait to see that ring when I'm not, under the influence of drinking. I have never noticed this about Brittany, and now I'm going to listen to it for the rest of everything she says.
Yeah, it's hard for me to even think of an example, but now that it's in your head, if you watch, like we're watching season 7, like she's been saying it the whole time, and it always annoys me.
Wow. Yeah, she says that immediately. Whenever I'm not drunk. And then Kristen flashes this thing, and it's like, holy shit. 4 carats, everything that Kyle Chan touted. Natural diamonds on the rim of the ring. Huge glow. Did you see that? There's like I don't know what it's called. It's called a big oral glow or something that it has when you look at it or whatever. So Brittany's stunned. And then Kristen goes, I gotta be honest with you, Brittany. What the fuck were you thinking with that Jax shit?
Yeah.
That was bad.
She was like, did you respond to him? And Kristen's like, Luke made me block him.
Yeah. It's like, what? I don't understand. Was he saying congrats, ... Wait,
Blocked.
I have more to say. Yeah, like, was he trying more? Why did she have to block? The blocking, they're too liberal with their blocking.
I know. I don't think I've ever blocked a phone number in my life.
Me neither.
I've like muted Instagrams, but I've never blocked anyone anywhere.
I mean, it's too serious. I don't know that blocking etiquette, but yeah, she blocked him. It's like, well, are you going to forget that he's blocked and have to unblock him? And then she goes, I reamed him a new ass. She goes, I reamed him out. Don't you worry. And then
she's like, we were on the phone because of Cruzy's school. That's the only reason we were talking. And it's like, okay, like, because she was wasted when she was the night before. So I'm like, what decisions were you making on the phone with him when you were like blackout?
Yeah, and I guess she told him drunk. I mean, I guess that gives you some, excuse for it. But I loved this scene. I won't do it justice at all. But Brittany goes, you should have heard me reaming him out. He was basically like a dog with a tail between his legs. And then they show what Jax a little scene, and he's going, sorry, my mistake. No, I didn't do that, honey. And it's like just this quick little blip of Jax, and it's like, what the fuck is going on with Jax at any minute of the day? And it was like he was trying to take accountability, but he was so dismissive and rude. But he thinks that if you just apologize, it gets you out of everything again.
Yeah.
So it was just a funny little quick Jax moment that, I thought was very interesting.
Yeah. I feel like she always loves to brag about ripping him a new asshole, but like she never actually gets power over him. So it's like, you're like, I know you think that you're, holding something over his head or whatever, but actually you guys have just like a fucked up dynamic where you argue back and forth, and I'm not impressed.
Me either. She needs to call him Frank Drebin to his face.
Yeah, seriously.
Could you imagine the look on his face when he gets revealed as Frank Drebin right to his face? If she goes, is that you talking or is that Frank Drebin? He'd be like, oh my God, my worst, my biggest secret you've revealed to me on camera. I'm glad. It made me kind of glad, though, that we get them back. Not for their... It's not good for their well-being, but I do think that they've been so adrift for so long that it actually was enticing to see them back together when we get that scene of them coming up on next week. I was like, oh, good. Yeah, I mean, we do need a scene where they kind of talk about their relationship as it is now, because we were only just hearing sort of piecemeal what they say back and forth for like the last 6 or 7 episodes. But then Kristen, in this conversation, she goes, okay, enough about Jax. I was also like, okay, Kristen and Luke, time to send out the mass text. Like, you can't, how long, you can't keep it secret for more than a day. Like, just tell everybody. You got 10 hours of it. Okay, now it's time to tell people, so you can't get mad anymore. But then Kristen goes, I got another thing. It's about Janet. Janet fucking sucks. God, she sucks so bad. She's a miserable person. She's so horrible and lame. What the fuck is going on with Janet? And then Kristen says, Brittany, you need to stand up for me more. Remember when Janet went off the fucking rails at El Coyote and started screaming at me? And then Brittany is kind of put in this middle person, whatever, mediator position again, because Brittany's like, I love Janet so much and I love Kristen so much. Why can't I just love them both all the time? You know, right. So kind of a dynamic that Brittany's very used to.
Yes. And Kristen takes this opportunity to remind us one more time that Janet came into the group as a fan through Scheana. She loves to say it, and I love when she says it.
Me too. She goes, just so you all know, Janet went to a pool party where she knew Scheana was going to be at. She was a huge Vanderpump Rules fan. And she sidled up to Scheana, got in through Scheana, and then sort of made it her way through the group. And Kristen says that she didn't know Janet was a fan for about 3 or 4 years until she heard that origin story. And she says, I don't want to call it fully creepy, but it does make me think about Janet in a different way, knowing that she was at home watching me for years on Vanderpump Rules. And then now she's getting into huge fights with me about everything. It's like, it's not horribly creepy stalker shit, but it is something that Kristen can hold over Janet's head for the rest of her life. You were a fucking fan of me, and now you're on the show with me, and you're trying to go toe-to-toe with me, and I'm gonna fucking ether you every time.
Totally. Okay, so now we get onto a boat. Luke, for some reason, wears this scantily clad.
It's scandalous and he's scantily clad. I go, what the hell is Luke thinking with this thing? It seems so out of character for him. He just wanted a little bit of attention or a little bit of fun. I think he thought it would go over a lot better. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, everyone's like,
If I would have put on that outfit and I went with a bunch of my friends and I put on a little sailor cap and a huge, like really high shorts and a big skimpy outfit, I would want people to start squealing in delight.
Yeah, everyone was being flop on this trip.
But they were like, this sucks. They were like, get it off.
Yeah, they're like, this is embarrassing, uncomfortable. Yeah. Janet feels awkward. She tries to corner Michelle as the only person that will talk to her, and she's like, what did you ever see in Jesse? So they talk about that for a while. Michelle says Jesse wasn't a douche when she met him. They show some flashback photos.
What about those photos?
He looks totally different.
I thought it was cool. She was like, he used to live in a 1-bedroom apartment and he could barely afford a bottle of wine. And then she goes, but when you get your money, all of a sudden the cash started rolling in. And then that's when your true colors start showing. Yeah. And it made me think that, God damn, I wish that I could start showing my true colors pretty soon. Once that big...
I like that problem.
It's like, can I keep my true colors with all of this cash? I think so. Yeah. But Jesse couldn't. He's too rich.
To brunch at the chateau changed him. This is where Zach has the sidebar with Brittany, where she assures him that she is not falling into bad behaviors with Jax. He goes, will you get a divorce if I hand you the papers right now? And she's like, yes. So he's like, all right, but I'm watching you, basically.
Totally. Yeah, he was pissed at that Jax thing. He goes, I'm going to make Jax chum. He was like, I want to chop Jax up into chum so sharks start coming for his body. But then, yeah, he reconfirms Brittany would divorce Jax's ass if the papers were right in front of her. Cut to Jax in his condo having a little bit of fun with Schwartz, kind of like this odd couple dynamic, 2 neighbors, Big Bang Theory, 2 guys.
A girl in a pizza place.
Apartment in the B in apartment 23. Kind of fun. And Tom Schwartz goes, I got your hungry man dinners. And I looked this up. It was one was a breakfast, pancakes and eggs and bacon, and then the other one was chicken nuggets and mashed potatoes.
Yum.
Have you ever had? I've never had one. Have you ever had a TV dinner?
I've never had a hungry man. I've had a TV dinner. I haven't had a hungry man.
What are the others? TV dinners?
Lean cuisine. I used to have kid cuisine back in the day.
I think I definitely had a couple kid cuisines. I guess, I'm being all like high and mighty about hungry man, but Trader Joe's, all those frozen foods with those dishes. I mean, I'm basically just doing Hungry Man Trader Joe's. Like
the Indian slaps, the garlic naan.
I mean, please don't get me started on Trader Joe's frozen foods. It's probably 70% of my diet. But
penne arrabbiata, I always say.
What's that?
The penne arrabbiata in a bag.
Oh, let me see. I have to get that again.
It's the best.
I have to get that. So I love that he surprised him with Hungry Man's. And then he says, he goes, Tom. He goes, Tommy. He goes, Tom. He goes, guess what? Someone got engaged. And Tom goes, who? And he goes, Kristen. And then we get live Tom Schwartz's reaction to Kristen Doute getting engaged, and he's so excited. He's screaming. He goes, oh my God, I'm going to text her right now. I'm so happy for Kristen. And then Jax goes, don't text her. I'm not supposed to be telling people this. So, he's been chastised for his actions, by Brittany. So he's kind of like, I have the loudest mouth in the valley, but don't tell anybody I told you.
Yeah, Schwartz is like, it's not on social media yet. I won't text her then. And they do a montage of Jax being unable to keep a secret. Like, there's 5 examples, which we know.
Did you get the sense that Schwartz and Doute are a little distant?
Maybe, yeah.
I was just like, it was kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I always loved Schwartz and Doute. They've had so many high highs and so many low lows, but I always felt like there was just a shared, legacy between them where they honor each other and love each other so much. I mean, kind of an underrated relationship because Kristen's been through everything, with Katie, and she's been there for Schwartz. So it's kind of, to me, I was just like, is this representative of them not being close anymore, that he's kind of just hearing third hand that she got engaged. But, nothing to consider there.
Did you see that Stassi brought her family to something about her and they were hanging out with Katie last week? I was like, so they're still, pretty close.
I saw that. I saw that. Bo went and Hartford. Oh, wait, we didn't talk about Hartford's first haircut.
We missed that huge news item.
Oh my God, I'm looking at my news now. That was number 2 after Shrek Erika. What the hell what the hell's going on with my notes?
How will we go on?
And then I think if I'm correct, we go back to Brittany and Zach, and Brittany goes, you need to understand something, Zach. That was my person, my vault. That's where all my secrets were.
Worst vault in the world.
That was where my chamber of secrets were buried. It's like second nature to be spilling tea to him. And he goes, okay, well, okay.
She's like, you have to understand this is someone that I still love. And she said that she's like, I would still be with him if not for everything that he had pulled. And I'm like, yeah, that's how breakups work.
Yeah,
you would be together unless something bad happened.
Yeah, he pulled a couple doozies on you. And then Jax goes, God damn. He goes, Brittany, to Schwartz, he goes, put that hungry man in the oven. He goes, Schwartz, he goes, I want to put a pin in this thing with Brittany. Can't we just say, put a pin in it, delay it a little bit, go to therapy? I just got out of rehab. But I could tell that Jax's heart was not in this one. It was kind of just like, I think the cameras are here. Let's say something about Brittany. But I didn't feel that he was he was
actually fighting for
3 out of 10. It was just saying some random Jax shit.
Schwartz was even if, Jax didn't have his heart in it, Schwartz was didn't let it happen for 1 second. He was like, no, horrible idea. You absolutely have to move on, date other people. He goes, if you move back in, you're going to end up in jail. And I was like, that's fucked up.
Probably right too, just on the scale 100%. Of escalation. Yeah, it's that was right. Schwartz has been so even keeled and such a great sounding board for Jax during this time. He's been amazing with his wisdom.
Divorce-o.
Total divorce-o vibes over there. Okay, Michelle and Janet have a conversation. This kind of comes out of nowhere.
The wonder duo.
Yeah.
My favorites.
Yeah, 2 icons go toe-to-toe or head-to-head here in this scene.
They're Frick and Frack.
Yeah, Michelle, they're kind of I've said this before. We get the best conflict in the world with the Vanderpump Rules players. They're amazing. They're so adept at it. And then we kind of have to suffer through some mishandling by the lesser tier cast members. No offense to them. They're not lesser tier people. They're just people that don't know what the hell they're doing. And so we get a lot of Flop City stuff. And this one is kind of like a reassessing of some random shit. And it's like, guess what, Janet? Zach tried to tell me that in this Jenna stuff that no one cares about and no one's talking about anymore, that only has to do with me and I keep bringing up, that Zach said that Janet and Sheena, you, Janet, and Sheena are the ones who are truly responsible for the Jenna stuff. And Janet goes, well, that fucking is horrible. Let's talk to him right now about it, right?
Yeah, as if anyone gives a flying fuck about a girl that Aaron, I can barely summon his name, had sex with 5 years ago, who like is on the show in the corner not speaking. Like I could not care less about this.
Yeah, it's really a misreading of the impact of that storyline, because it was a flashback when Kristen first brought it up, and then we heard Jenna say it to Jesse. I used to make love to Aaron. Nothing weird happened. It was perfectly normal. 2 times having sex, or maybe even more than that, and it's over. And then now Michelle is the one that keeps bringing it into focus, and it's like no one is caring. This is not registering. This is not top 7 storylines that you're trying to bring here. And then this is when Zach comes down because he's called from above, and then he goes, Kristen, I want you to come with me. Very strategic move. I go, oh my god, Zach, you are fucking like amazing.
Speaking and Kristen's like, of course I will.
Oh, she's like, I was ready. Like, I am ready to talk to Janet at any time now. Zach is amazing. Talk about lower tier and upper tier. Zach has vaulted through to the one of the best cast members in history. He is playing in the arena of the Vanderpump Rules cast members.
Yeah, I got a tweet from him the other day that really cracked me up. It was like, I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't know if I can find it off the bat, but he was like, so there's like a kids menu and a gluten-free menu, but where's the I'm on a GLP-1 menu?
Really?
Yeah.
That is
I was
so
like,
fun.
let's go see him at like the Comedy Store.
Oh, I would love that. Oh my god, even if it was 15 minutes, like an opening set, I would love that. So Zach restates that Sheena is responsible. Producer fingerprints are all over it, and then they get some flashbacks, and it is Sheena pushing Jenna. It's like kind of sucks because it's like, Sheena, you're not really a part of this season, and then all we have is the residual effect of you is you just pushing this random friend that you know had sex with Aaron for conflict. And then Sheena's kind of like, they give her the edit of like, I am manipulating things behind the scenes in a way. So Zach was kind of right to be like, Kristen noted that thing about Jenna, but she's not the reason why Jenna is showing up to kickball and all this kind of stuff. So
they
you know
also
what I mean?
try to validate her existence within the group, where they're like, we've known her 17 years. Sheena actually considers her to be a best friend. Zach is like, I met her like the day I got to LA. I've known her a really long time. And I'm like, okay, but that doesn't mean she's suspiciously never been on camera until now.
she's our friend. She made love to James after he chugged a bottle of Fireball and barfed all over himself. She had sex with him and cheated. While they were in a relationship, when he was in a relationship with Kristen.
When
like,
he
that was
chugs
her,
the
right?
Fireball and they tell him to stop, and he goes, whoa!
He goes, whoa! Yeah, and then, oh my god, then Tom Sandoval iconically does a big flip into the pool on roller skates.
Good times.
Great. Then Kristen goes, Janet, just stop it. You showed your true colors at El Coyote when you started screaming at me, and you were all up my ass this whole season, basically summer, until and then Janet goes, I was up your ass because I wanted to be back friends with you until you started that horrible ring rumor.
The other thing no one gives a fuck about
Jason that was a plot line for 2 episodes at most. And then this is when it gets wild. A new echelon it gets to a new echelon of conflict because
Dante.
A new purgatory level we go to. Now people are fighting with gloves off because the environment just completely changed. Kristen goes, I said that ring rumor to be vindictive to you, to get retribution for your shitty actions about what you were saying about Danny and Nia. Basically just admits, I was just talking shit about you to get back at you. Glass houses, thou shalt not throw stones in thy glass houses, basically. And Janet goes, don't you dare say that ring rumor is anything like Danny sexually assaulting another cast member on our show. And Kristen goes, that's it. I'm done. And runs away from the scene. She's like, I will not fucking tolerate for 1 second you using the words sexually assaulted about Danny. I'm done. Basically, mic off, shut up, turn the cameras off. I am not participating in any way in that kind of storyline if Danny is going to be painted like that. Is that an accurate assessment of Kristen's reaction to that?
Yeah, she runs and she says her blood is boiling. She then tells the Jason is in the other part of the boat, and he's like, what's going on now? And she's like, your freaking wife. And she runs over and whispers to him. She's like, she said that Danny sexually assaulted Jasmine. And then Janet is being annoying in her confessional, and she's like, sorry, that is the exact definition of sexual assault. And sometimes having a husband who's a lawyer can be hard because when you use the proper terminology, people get upset. And it's like, all right, we're not like slow. That is like a gauntlet thrown, and the person who it happened to wants it to be done. Yeah. So like, it's weird that you keep using it as a tool.
Well, yes, for sure. I have all those same thoughts about this. My thought is, I don't understand at all what Janet is thinking. This kind of shows the divide of how Janet is operating on the show versus being a real person. When Kristen comes up after fuming about what Janet said, Nia goes, "It wasn't about me, was it?" And I was like, "Oh my God! Not only is it about you and Danny again, but it's 10 times worse than anything that's ever been uttered. It's 10 times worse than you can imagine about Danny. The word sexually assaulted just got uttered by a cast member about your husband. It is so bad." And then the fact that Janet, for the rest of the episode, is like, "I don't have a problem with you, Danny and Nia. I love you guys. I wouldn't have even brought it up. I don't even know how that got out there. That's all Kristen's fault." It's like, how the fuck do you not know what you just said and how much of a explosive accusation is those words on camera? She's not wrapping her head around, or she doesn't care, or she doesn't understand the implications of saying that on camera. I do not understand how she doesn't know that she just dropped a nuke on Danny and Nia personally after saying that.
Yeah. And there's also a clip of her a week ago in a scene that we hadn't seen yet, of her telling the group that it wasn't just that one night with Jasmine and Melissa, but there was a different night where there was a group of fans / bachelorette party girls that he was making feel uncomfortable. And apparently, according to Janet, he told, because apparently Jason was like, "Bro, you have a family. Don't do this."
Dude, don't do
this.
Dude, you're dark side Danny right now. Don't do it. I know that there's fans swarming you right now, but you've got a family.
Twice. And he goes, "Nia will always be up here, but I have a weakness for hot girls in little skirts."
You can just imagine Darkside Danny's eyes rolling back in his head as he said that. He goes,
licking his lips.
He goes, "You know I can't stop looking at pretty girls in little skirts."
Well, Jack Nicholson. He's like, "I love pretty little girls in skirts."
Yeah, yes. And he's Zach is using this as evidence that this is just this sort of amalgamation or cloud that Janet is still just feeding in all these different environments. And then they show the clip and it's like, damn, this is not Janet's crusade. It's already been addressed by Jasmine a lot. They've had 3 or 4 conversations about this. And now Janet is like, you can tell now that she just wants to keep talking about Danny forever in every scene. It's like,
it's weird.
They are her targets. They are her fodder for conflict. They are who she has pinned all of her ire towards, in addition to Kristen now. But I feel like the Kristen just spurned from just real authenticity, but based off what Kristen's actions. But she went for Danny this season the entire time.
Yeah. There's the clip for the preview for next week. She goes, Janet next week says, if Danny continues to drink, I really don't want to be close with him. And I'm like, oh my God, like, did he like kill your dog? Like, what is happening? Like, I'm into, like, let's talk. I'm fine to say that there's a secret darkness behind that couple. Like, I agree. But obviously she's just super triggered by what they're trying to portray, and it like really pisses her off and she wants to dismantle it completely. But it's like everyone else is like, I don't really care.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do. I don't understand. I mean, again, it's just a thing that baffles me about Janet. I mean, it's like, oh my God, how much can the hate meter go up for people now? I mean, like, like, I don't know if the reaction is going to be like this, but I imagine that people are going to continue to think that Janet acted sort of insufferably during this episode as well. And I just do not understand any of Janet's impulses throughout this process. And again, like I said, I don't understand how she's confused. She keeps telling people, she goes, Michelle, was I the one who brought up Danny and Nia? I didn't say anything about them. It was Kristen who brought it up. It's like, that doesn't matter anymore. You just said one of the biggest accusations we've ever heard on this show about two other people. It's like, that is what obviously everyone is going to be talking about for the next 3 episodes. And then Kristen is on a rampage the rest of the time. I mean, she is fucking screaming. Jasmine says, says, don't talk about this anymore, or don't say our names anymore. And Kristen's like, she's talking about you, Janet. She says, stop bringing up them now. Don't ever bring up their names again. And Kristen is so fired up like I've never seen her. She is like just so fucking pissed. That's when she says her iconic, get the fuck off my engagement boat, you stupid bitch.
Yeah. Also, Jason refuses to corroborate the hot girls in short skirts line. He's like, an eyewitness actually said that. I think it was Brittany and Jared. So I didn't hear that myself. And I'm like, okay, so now we're going off of eyewitnesses. Like, is Brittany one of them? Can we get her over here?
Yeah, can we get Brittany? Yeah, and and I do about the Jasmine and Melissa thing, like they're right there. And they said, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I have to imagine that they said we don't want to talk about this because they have resolved this entire relationship with Danny, and they're in a good enough place. But also at a certain point, I was like, I wanted to hear Jason's feedback on Janet saying that specifically, using those words. And I would have liked Janet and Melissa right there. I don't know if they determined they did not want to get into it. I totally understand. But also, if they would have weighed in, Janet could have been shut down completely right then by having their personal firsthand experience to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think at that point that they were just so checked out, and they've talked about this enough with Danny that they were just like, don't make drama that revolves around us anymore, especially when we're within earshot of you all.
Yeah. But yeah, Janet just sort of like crumbles under pressure. Like Kristen starts pointing her finger in her face, and Janet is like, get your weird hands out of my face. And she's just kind of like, I don't know. She just gets like, she's not fun to watch in these situations. Jason is like, why are we protecting the wrong people? And so like, he kind of is saying that like Danny shouldn't be protected, and then Kristen's just so pissed to the point that when they get off the boat, she goes, don't make me knock your ass out.
Totally Yeah, I think everyone is weighing the words that SA accusation, and they all kind of don't know how to navigate this properly, just like as a viewer. It's hard to navigate.
You can tell that Kristen kind of looks to the crew when she like is storming off. She's like, I'm not like supporting her saying that on camera, basically.
Yeah. She also then, as she goes, as she says, I'm going to knock your ass out or whatever, she goes, you're a fucking fan, bitch, which we've seen in the trailer. I love it too. It's an amazing, Kristen can say that for as long as she wants about Janet, and then Janet tries to get her, like you said, her kind of jabs in. It's like, good luck with that, Luke. And Luke's just like, thank you. Like, he doesn't give a shit. You're right, Janet is not great when she's fighting back. I wondered, I haven't thought about that personally, but yeah, she does just either walk away, or she says some random thing over and over again, or she gets completely belligerent and annoying like she did at El Coyote, where she was just screaming at the top of her lungs. She needs a sort of temper. If she wants to get in fights all the time, she needs to sort of temper that sort of reaction, and maybe think of don't think of barbs, but just recalibrate a little bit how you fight with people, especially if you love it so much and love to fight with everyone. Yeah,
she said on the after show that she's all about giving up. She's like, when something gets hard, like when the going gets tough, I get going, is what she said, and that she loves to flee a scene. And I'm like, well,
yeah, no, that's not great. I do think, like Janet's confessionals are like funny enough. I mean, I've seen people blow their confessionals where they're never funny once. And like Janet has some good things to say, like she gets some like 7 out of 10 level humorous things out there. And like I've said before, I do think that there is like, there's something in there that Janet could work with as an engaging cast member. It's just that, this is not it. It's rough. I don't know if there's ever been, I mean, she's by far the villain of this franchise. And I mean, she might be nearing on one of like the most hated cast members of this season, like in this like 6-month span of Bravo programming. I
know we talked about it last week, that the headline, which she then denied about fleeing the country, being under duress from fan hatred. She's like, no, like we were on vacay, if you listen to the thing, whatever. But the comments on every single post about that, like everyone was like, it was 100% negative.
Oh my God.
The only other person I've seen like that is like Blake Lively, where it's just like immediately no. Like, no.
And we haven't assessed the viewer reaction yet, but this isn't going to win Janet any fans, her performance this episode, right?
I don't think so. Because, I would say that like you could say she's standing up for a victim or something like that, but they were literally there and they were like, keep my name out of your mouth, bitch.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's how.
Like she wasn't doing it for them. She's almost using their experience that was negative, like for a different purpose, which is almost worse.
Which is what Nia says. Nia says that, and I do though. I am actually looking forward to what Jasmine and Melissa say if they do get to talk about this next week, and sort of like they can examine it, because I want to hear from them. This happened to them, so I'm kind of going to take my cues from them. Hopefully next episode. So that's it. That's the end of this episode. I mean, it was. I thought it was an amazing episode of The Valley. I mean, the Kristen shit. Obviously, the little peeks into Jax. Overall, just very fun, and it was sort of a cruise from hell.
Yeah. I love that. By the end, they were all like, "Get me the fuck out of here!" And then it looks like next week we'll get more rigmarole with Jax and Brittany. Like he's setting up a ring cam. They're talking about how to operate in this new realm where he lives somewhere else, and so I guess I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that was funny. That ring cam thing was funny. It was like he was like trying to do the worst spy event of the century.
Give me your password.
He goes, hey, I got a new ring cam that I'm working with. They apparently sent the password to your phone. Can you just read me that password for a little bit? And Brittany goes, I'm not dumb. I know what you do with the ring password. It's like, what is he trying to do? He's going to get your password so he can peek into your Brittany's ring camera. It's like, what the hell is this?
It's like when you get scammed and they're like, I'm the bank. I sent you a code. Can you please read it to me?
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know about you, but I have been getting like every job offer in the world from my text. Oh, are you getting those?
Freaking all kinds of corporations are begging me for my services.
Mine said, Bob Iger wants you back at Disney ASAP. He goes, I'm willing to offer you $500 a day to $750 a day if you're willing to join us for a 5-minute phone call. And I was like, oh my God.
And the email address is like DisneyBiz7962 at AOL.
Yeah, I say, please stop. I'm fragile right now, and I want this job, but I know it's possibly fake.
Sometimes I'm like, there are some that I'm like, wait, this actually might be a recruiter, and now I don't know.
I know, but like you said, I get ones from like, it'll be like 30 characters that have no semblance of words at gmail.com, and I'll be like, I don't think Bob Iger would use this email, and why would he text me? But anyway, we're talking about that because it's scams, yes. That could happen. Well, great. Well, Amy, I have to say I've been looking at the Turtle Time mission statement as well as the report card. I've found us to be adhering to the mission of Turtle Time, which is hopefully we spread at least one chortle, laugh, or smile, and then the report card, which included Hartford's first haircut. We did not complete that mission. That's a B for the news segment, but then an A for our Valley coverage. So overall, about a B+. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I feel good. And then, of course, with your meat and potatoes comes the vegetables, which is us saying rate and review, shop on Etsy, join our Patreon.
Shop on Etsy. Look at this shirt, YouTube. Everyone, if you're listening to the audio version, go to YouTube really quick. I don't know what time it is, 1 hour, 33 minutes. Look at this beautiful Sir Ali shirt that Amy designed where it's turtle time in Sir Ali. It's fucking awesome. I'm wearing it right now. Look at this fucking thing. Buy it. Give Amy and I money. The reason why Etsy is so cool is that if you want to just give Amy and I money, you're like, I love this. I want to give Amy and Riley $45 or $60. You could get a bunch of shit in exchange for that money, and we get the money, and you get shit like this. It's not a GoFundMe. It's Etsy merchandise that you get.
It's fair trade and barter.
It's the essence of barter of goods and services or trade. It's the essence of trade. And then review. You already said, please. We need those Spotify comments, YouTube comments, Villa Rosa VIPs. We need your feedback on this episode. Everything that Villa Rosa VIPs say on the discussion forums, Amy and I use for the rest of our lives. Villa Rosa VIPs answer our questions. They give us context to things. They correct us when we're wrong. We got corrected on something huge today. I don't even remember what it was, but I said, thank you, Villa Rosa VIP. That was helpful. And then lastly, to join that beautiful community of Villa Rosa VIPs, for $5 a month, you get access to our discussion boards, you get access to the Villa Rosa VIP community, and you get, for $5 a month, access to our Vanderpump Rules recap series, which is season 7.
$60 a year. That's like one meal at Sir.
Oh my God. If you just thought about it like that, you go to Sir, you get Chef Joe's lemon cod with vegetable sproutlings and goat cheese balls in one sangria. That's $75. Yeah. And you could don't go to that one meal, spend it towards Patreon. You get access to over 115 episodes of our Vanderpump Rules recap series. How the fuck could you deny that? Obviously, one and done. Great. All right. Well, we love you all so much. Amy and I will be back later this week. We'll be talking about. Oh, I forget. Miami and not OC yet, right? Or OC is this week. Oh my God. So maybe we'll incorporate. Oh, did we already talk about this? I don't know. We haven't decided yet, so you'll have to see. Oh my God, that is going to be enticing. Oh, but you know what? I'll just say probably at least a little tinge of OC at least, because I got to say this. Our Miami episodes are fucking biting the dust on YouTube. Yeah, we might have to move that to the background, the back burner. Anyway, we'll figure it out. That's Turtle Time's problem, not yours. Hot fire. Yeah, we'll figure out what to do about Miami. Goddamn. Okay, but we'll see y'all soon. We love you. Good night. Bye. Bye.